Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everyone. This is Engineer Suraj Singh speaking from Bharat, India. On this day, May 25th, 2021, I've been a little upset today that I have to come back to YouTube for my video in morning time because I tried many times on Facebook and it has been for many days that I have not been able to post videos in morning during live session. There's some problem, signals are not getting in, and I tried I think 4 times on Facebook today morning. Yesterday I tried twice or thrice. I'm not getting it, so I thought come back to YouTube. I know that YouTube cannot share documents. It doesn't allow. It doesn't allow document share or screen share. Yet, at least I can talk. That is important. Important point is talking. I can't talk to you about how what can I show you. But my purpose is to talk something about quality of life. COVID is running, we know. Engineering is also running. COVID is killing everyone. Humanity is being killed. But there is something behind that we have to understand. Quality doesn't exist in our country, Bharat, India. We know it very well. It's no criticism, it's a fact. In fact, not only here, to some extent, quality has been impacted upon all over the world. But we have to talk about ourselves first because I am one of 130 crores people and we have to talk about quality. It's not necessary that quality is assumed to what I think and you think. Quality is to be achieved. Whatever work we do, we have to work with quality. I have many files to show you, but I cannot show you because of absence of provisions of screen share in video. But I can just read here for you, and that's important. I shall read here for you. That's much more important than something else. First, let me close some files so that I can be free with you to talk. Now, there's one file which reads, I don't know whether it will take. There's one file which reads that quality approach to be defined. Quality approach defined in what way? Quality required everywhere. And in engineering, it's a must. And question is it? Is it? Is it? Quality required everywhere. And in engineering, it is a must. Is it must? Question is that we have to raise questions to ourselves. And then it says systems quality. Systems quality, individual quality, element quality, attitude quality, dedication quality, commitment, other parameters. So you can say there are so many questions in, so many considerations in, like system, like individual, element, attitude, dedication, commitment, and other parameters. Question is quality required everywhere. Everywhere means in every field, in every work, in every production, in every part of construction, in every, you can say, every instance in life, quality is required. And in engineering particularly, engineering, which is very wide definition, which covers almost every field in our life. There is no field which is untouched by engineering. Is it a must or it's not a must? That question is, I think, irrelevant, but we have still to raise that. What do we understand by quality? I like to add something in Hindi also later on, but now I'm just giving you practical because I know everybody doesn't like English, but liking is another point of view. Point of view is my message should reach to wide spectrum of people, and that is important. Hindi I can speak, but it will limit my message to only some part of this country. So when I say systems, individuals, element, attitude, dedication, commitment, what does it mean? Let's go a little blow up for me. Systems quality, individual quality, element quality, attitude quality, dedication quality, commitment quality, other parameters. Easy to speak these parameters. Can we follow them? When it is required everywhere means it's required in my home also. It's required in home also. Now, how do I maintain my home? How do I live? And that's my quality, my own consideration. It's not somebody else's consideration. But when you say designs of structures and others, designs of structures and others must be qualitative and reliable. This is on my file. I'm just reading for you. Designs of structures and others must be qualitative and reliable. Every design, whatever we do, it may be design of structure, or it may be design of something else, or it may be design of a story or plot. It may be design of some writing. It may be design of some process. It may be design of whatever you think is right. It must have quality criteria within it rather than length of that writing. When I say quality, it means quality in quantity. Quality should not lag behind quantity. Quality may move with quality may move with quantity, and of course quantity must have quality. You got my point. If I say I have this quantity of work done, what does it mean? If I have done this quantity of work, this means that work must meet requirement of quality. Otherwise, I should not call that work. That's my first point. My work should speak quality. It should tell it is in quality, and that is not by face value of that product, but that is by use value, experience value. And I say that my work should be reliable, or whatever work is done by whomsoever, it should be reliable. The reliability means it should be demanded again and again, and it should respond. Whatever work we do, it should meet all those requirements which are specified one or which are expected to be involved with. If you buy a product from market, you consider that this product would perform well. That's the main point. This should perform well. You pay money for that, or even if it's free, but a product, it must work to what is your expectation, or what is specified on that product. It must perform that way. But if you buy product, you pay money, and seller says no, there is no warranty or guarantee of this, you take on your responsibility. What does it mean? It means you pay to me, and I'm not responsible for this product. If this product doesn't work, I'm not going to be responsible and liable for that. I shall not pay back your money. Do you believe that kind of transaction? Or you believe no, if this product doesn't work, bring it back, I'll replace it, and first of all, I'll apologize. I'll pay you compensation for your time waste, for your all that. All that should be criteria. This we have to define. That happened many times. Something is bought, it works only for 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, and then it stops working. This means either that product is duplicate, or that is not, you can say, genuinely produced. So reliability factor comes in that time. This my product is not reliable because it is not qualitatively produced or manufactured. So I say design of structures and others must be qualitative and reliable. Now, what is qualitative reliable? What stage? It says that all stages design, whatever designs we do, all stages designs we can say, all stages designs it should confine. All stages designs are related in that. All stages designs means from initiation or thinking of design or thinking a dream of design and going through all stages. But only design does not suffice, we have to understand. Only design does not suffice. It doesn't give you complete requirement if construction and development are not affected to mark. Construction, development, or whatever you can say, manufacture, are not affected to mark. There's a mark specified that we must achieve, come what may, in that design. If that mark is not achieved, we cannot say that product is well done. Design drawings must have quality and duly coordinated details, keeping abreast site working conditions. When I'm saying site, it can be factory also, it can be production also. So what we say, all stages designs, but only design does not suffice if construction and development are not affected to mark. Design drawings must have quality and duly coordinated details, keeping abreast site working conditions. Let's move a little further. It says that it's not simply blamable. Design must have procedure. Design must comply with the procedure. It must be done accordingly. Whatever we expected, it must be given shape of. All stages must go accordingly. No stage of design should be left to its own. It must be done according to what I thought of, or what designer thinks of, or what was expected. But design alone is not sufficient. Its construction, its manufacturing, or whatever it is for, should be done according to specifications, whatever are agreed for, or whatever are expected. Design drawings must give complete details, means it should not leave anything undone. Person who does it, manufacture it, should know what he is to do, and it should be well coordinated, particularly in construction work. If even 1% of coordination is missed, there shall be problem on site on working of that one. We have to understand that point. Means simply saying that we have done it, it doesn't mean anything. It should be done accordingly. If I am not able to do that, means there is some deficiency in my work, and that deficiency is very important to understand. Construction based on reasonable, coordinated, quality design. Yes, I am reading it from my paper. Construction based on reasonably coordinated quality design. This is, whatever construction we do, construction based on reasonable, coordinated quality design. If design is not coordinated, construction cannot be done, you know, according to expectations, and there can be variation in designs and construction. If person who does construction is well experienced and he understands, or that person knows what he has to do, one has to do, that is different. Maybe that person on his own constructs, leaving aside design, and it may happen. All activities must be taken care of, but it doesn't happen. And that is what I can say, construction quality falls. It is in relevance to designs. It falls. Designs do not give complete direction to those who work in field. Construction method statement, which must tell everything about what you have to do, that is not available sometimes, and people don't know what is that. What is construction method statement? That is a question mark. If I don't have construction method statement, or I want to work on site, then I will create my own mind method statement and construct. And if whoever is responsible for that construction, and whoever is responsible for quality assurance or requirement, and whoever is responsible for safety criteria of that, I mean to say safety, health and environment issue, and whoever is responsible for supervising that job, or for ensuring that job has been done according to this kind of authenticity you can see we can get from that. If that authenticity is not received, so I can say a document is not available on based on which we can say this work has been done according to requirement. That is very important point. I'm not saying that method statement is only title. You can give whatever title, but question is that paper, that document, which is going to be a record document of that activity, how it worked on site, that must be available. And that is not that we get it from some publisher or from somewhere else. It is only those people, one or many of those people who are responsible for activity construction on site. They have to decide before doing that activity what we are going to do. If they can decide well, they can write well, they can understand, and they can comply with that. That document must be in writing and approved by those who are going to work on that activity as well as those who are going to approve that activity. Both parties must agree with each other. I mean to say a person, for example, site engineer or site authentic person, site agent, whatever you can call that person, and also that person who's going to make sure that this work is done right, like quality engineer, and also that person who's going to supervise that or above that person, all agree together that this method, if you are going to apply, we are in, you can say, concurrence of that. We agree with that and it must be complied with. I'm not saying it should be very lengthy method statement or lengthy paper. It should be pointed one. It should describe various paragraphs like scope of work or scope of activity, what materials are defined for this activity or approved for activity, what drawings are in reference, what specific documents are in reference, what safety, health and environment issues are concerned and how we will tackle them, how we'll make sure that people are safe, everything is safe, and then how how these will be inspected, and then we can say who shall inspect, who is authorized, and of course what are responsibilities of various very significant people involved on this project. All these points must be kept in view and these must be there on paper. And then we have to write procedure. What are procedures, step by step procedures? And also we can insert in stages of inspections. There's no harm in that. It should be done. We can write if required some important safety measures, though safety activities are separately done in safety plan. But even then, because every time people don't have safety plan, they don't have quality plan, so stage by stage we can add to that one, that description, what is important safety measure in particular activity other than general requirements, and what quality issues are important, how this quality shall be inspected and ascertained, and also that construction procedures, how how, how shall we construct in each step, how many steps are there, and within this it should be like a speaking procedure, and then we can say we can also include in that attend what you can say machines would be required, what equipment will be required, and how many people will be required. It's not necessary you give a redundant information, but minimum information that is required for that must be included in, and that that part can be said method statement. Some people call it method statement, construction method statement. Some people call it procedure. And by whatever title, title is not important. Important is are we going to work with quality? That is most important point. If we go to work with quality, and that is I say an important point in life. If you can achieve quality, if you can think of that, you can achieve a lot. And I support method statement because we are educated people, we are engineers, we are site engineers, managers, organizers, quality people, all are engineering class. We are not, if somebody is quality inspector or quality engineer, I respect that person because that person must have total knowledge of that activity or that item, that process, must have more knowledge than site person. Though site person is construction specialized and this person is quality specialized, quality can be ensured by only that person who has worked in field. If that person doesn't have any field experience, I would not recommend that person to take responsibility of quality inspection. What do you mean by inspection if you don't have experience? You must have rather better experience than site person has. Because if you don't have experience, you will unnecessarily raise undue points. Irrelevant points are not required, logical points are required, relevant points are required. If I am a site engineer, I expect my quality guy to be better than me and in whenever required, because I am site person, I don't understand total quality, I understand related quality, but that person who's a quality leader, he should tell me sometimes if I don't know what I have to do. That is a kind of teacher in quality that engineer has to act. And similarly, I can say supervisor or engineer supervisor or who is responsible for purpose of contract just to make sure work has been done according to requirement. That person is also very important. That person must know more than site person as well as quality person, and also must know more than even safety person. Of course they have their own safety people, but safety is responsibility of each and everyone. So I should say, when a person who is a supervisor level means above all, you can say, on behalf of contractual engineer that person works, or maybe a third party. I mean, both can be available on supervision of activity. And when they know, all these three people know their jobs very well, I think there is no way we don't get quality as product quality, quality as inherited quality, quality is natural one. Speaking enough is speaking, exclusive is not enough. I can write anything. I can write number of activities. I can write number of pages. I can write books. Okay, we are very good in writing. We are very good in speaking. We are very good in telling others what to do. But have we ever done ourselves? That's the point. If I can write something, I can write only when I know something, when I have practiced that writing. Writing something just for sake of writing is not adequate, is not sufficient. In engineering construction, writing means something. If I write a line, it should not be just for writing, it should be applicable. If it is not applicable, then there is redundant, there's no, you can say, no value of that writing. It is redundant sentence, it is redundant insertion. We should not do that. Method statement is something, is a document that instructs you what to do, though it's your own document, but this is agreed document. This is a kind of agreement for that activity between various authorities. Authority means site engineer authority, project engineer authority, or you can say quality engineer authority, supervising engineer authority. It's a contractual authority. It's kind of group of authorities, and these groups do not mean they take their own responsibilities, but ultimately responsibilities goes to that person who is site person. Who is site person? Site person means, even if it is contracting, means contractors person. If it is not contracting, we do our job ourselves, then it's our own people. That responsibility requires to be shared by, of course it is a joint responsibility, but original responsibility lies with a person who takes as a contractor that work, who owns contracting power of that work. I am saying power because contracting is power. We are going to take responsibility of materials, responsibility of resources, all other human resources, you can say, and whatever is required, machine resources required, technology is required, and whatever else is required as a joint work you are going to do. So contractor or a person who constructor I should say rather, constructor is responsible for that item, and if that item is not done according to expectations of specifications, according to expectations of designs, according to expectations of industrial trend, or you can say industrial practice, that item cannot be called standard one, it is called substandard one, or an item or a work that can be rejected. That is very important point. We have to take into our consideration such a way. We cannot ignore it. We cannot say we will correct it later on. I have seen many engineers who talk like that. 11th hour, we will discuss. No, we will not discuss 11th hour. Even it is very urgent. When I do something as site engineer, I have to know everything about that. And if I don't know that, I have misinformation or have, you can say, little information in construction of civil engineering. I should say I should not work on that item until I'm clear. I cannot take risk on incomplete information because it's question of money, it's question of material, it's question of time, it's question of cost. If I commit error, if I commit mistake, I do wrong work, which work cannot be, you can say, repaired immediately. If I do concrete and there is detailing, you can say misinformation, I am not clear about that. On what basis I can do that job? That question I have to ask myself. Means I need complete drawings, I need complete detailing, I need complete specification, I need whatever is required on that. If workshop drawing is required or shop drawing is required, I must have that. And if either of these information, required information, mandatory information is not available, then it's my official duty not to do that job. Even whatever pressure comes on me, I should not care about that because that pressure shall not solve problem. That pressure shall just show its dictatorship and nothing else. But once item is done incorrectly, I am going to be held responsible because I must have made sure all information is ready. That's the main point. So it's only not that easy. We can say we can say that construction method statement a must. Yes, that is a must. That's only purpose of method statement. Means it's not one method statement. It should be there should be many method statements in construction industry, in construction of structures, and you can say in buildings or whatever we do. Building is only building is only a discipline in which hundreds of items are involved. Hundreds of items. Flyover may not have that many items. Your railway track may not have so many items. Your, you can say, infrastructure work like sewer line, water line may not have so many items. Irrigation work may not have so many items. Water resources may not have so many items. It is exclusively buildings, whatever sort of building you say, residential building, institutional building, commercial building, specialist building, or you may say power stations, you may also say nuclear reactors. Whatever you consider, there are hundreds of items. And these hundreds of items require definitions of all what you have to do. That's the most important point. We cannot neglect it. If we neglect it, we neglect ourselves. We neglect engineering. Principles of engineering we neglect. Running is one part. I want to run with this project. I want to move this project. Yes, that is right. You have to move this project. But moving doesn't mean you come out of track. If you want to move a track, if you want to move, I'm sorry, a train or a bus, you cannot ghost. You cannot take steering out of a road. You cannot take your train out of your track. That's what I say. If train goes out of track, what shall happen? We know it very well. Same thing we say about construction. Construction activities a track, and there are, you know, construction activities in every from excavation to handover. Excavation statements can be many. Blinding statements can be many. Waterproofing or soil protection of concrete statements can be many. Concrete formwork statement, concrete steel cutting and fixing statement, concrete pouring statements, electrical services statement, block work and brick work statements, rendering and plastering statements, flooring statements, or you can say earthing statement, surveying statements, or you can say in the compaction statement, backfilling statement, like that you can say slab work, column work, beam work, wall work, grinding work, you may say whatever activity you do, roofing, means there is no one limit. It depends on you how you do this. Best result is that first of all, when you write something in paper officially and it is approved, it becomes a document, it becomes a record for reference, and it will tell everybody in future because this is a project record. People may learn from it how it was done. It's not necessary you have to follow some book. It becomes a book page. It becomes a book chapter, virtual book chapter. So we have to see this statement is very important. Before doing, it's a proposed statement and approved one, and we have to follow it. And it's not one stage. Whatever is important must be written and must be complied with. It's not simply writing we accept. We have to do it. We have to comply. That's important. And that's what I say. There is no limit, but you can minimize number of statements if you think that this redundancy factor should not be there. No, should not be. But expression of details, expression of details in convenient format must be there. That is very important. Expression of details in convenient format. Just a minute, please. I will put my fan off. It's just working for me. Sorry, underline. I had to put my fan off. Well, so I was talking about something very important. This important point must be done well. So, so what I was saying, expression of details in convenient format for work is must. How we are going to detail that? We should use precise sentences, but technical one, and we should use such words which can be understood by all people who deal with, even up to level of charge hand or foreman, because they are frontline leaders. Leaders, I mean to say leaders of work. Expression of details must be in convenient format. It must tell everybody what they have to do, and we have to explain to them also because of language and because people, everybody cannot read English. If you can make that statement in that language which they use, I think that will be best one. I'm not advocating that English is only language. It can be in their own language, but that must be translated because ultimately writer knows English, engineer knows English, engineer does not know other language. And this is not a question of pride or no pride. Question is, requirement is good communication. Communication must reach to a person who is going to do the job, right? Expression of details in convenient format for work performance. Our target is in activity that work must be performed. Defined activity must be performed according to quality requirement, according to procedure requirement. There should be no lapse, and if there is some variation, it should be within tolerance. Performance of that activity means performance of part of project, and this performance must be defined clearly. It's not that I have to do my way. Yes, you have to do your way, but your way should be activity way. Your way should be project way. Your way should be engineering way. Your way should be agreed by all way. And that must be elaborated clearly in technical terms, not in your own terms. That is very important part. Then I can say time factor here. What is time factor we can say? Okay, that's okay. It's 34 minutes. Now, time factor. Activity must be done in time. That's also true. And I'm talking particularly of activity where time is important, like concrete activity, and activity where you can say there are chances of chemical reaction, not dry activity. And concrete, or you can say mortar, or you may say something else where sequence exists, consequence exists. And also curing, for example, is a time limit. So time is applied on many issues, many activities, which we have to analyze ourselves, because analysis is very important part of activity. Time, if you lose, you cannot get it back. If you, for example, waste time on concreting, even transport, or then on laying, and then on delaying vibration of that or compaction of that, you know what happens? Your concrete does not have standard. If there is much delay in transporting concrete from central mixing plant or batching plant to site, and there's further delay on its laying, and there's further delay on its compaction, this means your concrete lacks in its complete system. Though you do this because of some fear, but this concrete is not going to work throughout its durability. There may be many other problems in that concrete. So time factor is very important. Whatever time is defined by manufacturer for cementing material or cement and other materials, what is setting time, what is other time, after laying, when should you vibrate, because you cannot vibrate every you know you say every minute or every 2 3 minutes or 5 minutes. So that must be studied well. There is time also for, you can say, striking shutter. If you strike shutter before it's due, then you can lead to accident, collapse of collapse or sagging or deflection or moving of that element. But this is long detail, but I'm just giving you, this all impacts cost and risks. We cannot take risk because of some pressure. We cannot accept risk because of time issue. We cannot take risk because of cost issue. You cannot say, if I am doing this, I would save cost. Cost you cannot save, quality you cannot achieve, and time you cannot make by your ill actions, by your bad actions. It is very difficult for engineers to understand practical work sometimes due to lack of experience, because engineering education does not equip us with total practicality. Total practicality and construction takes years together, and that is very important point. So we have to learn methods first. Methods for every activity is not simple. If you pass engineering, you can pass by reading books, by attending classes, by doing some practical experiments. You can pass engineering, but engineering work in field is not what you think it is. It is only by your working you can understand, you can learn. I consider field work, I consider site work much more significant than theoretical work. Theoretical work is significant in different way, but site work can damage, can defeat your theory if it's not done well. People sometimes claim we have done very much work in designs and we expect site to do same, but site is disconnected with design. That's another problem. Site guy is not to that mark which you are. Site guy lacks in. But side guy is standing to that mark which you are not standing in construction activity on sites. Every batch of concrete is important. Every piece of block work is important. Every piece of brickwork is important. Every every material is important in construction, and that material should be quality one. You can see in India, in Bharat, bad quality of bricks, bad quality of blocks, or you say bad quality of every activity you will find. In general, I say, and even where engineers are installed, where engineers are deployed, question of quality remains, and I am regretful to answer that for my country that quality is very, very low in 95% projects. I don't know what people do. It's not only engineering quality, it's also quality of safety, health, it's also quality inspection itself. Quality inspection, people think their job is limited, but I think their job is above all if they do it. This time, I'm not going to explain about quality or safety in this talk because I have many other, you can say, talks on that. I'm just going to cover quality point in this and reliability. When I say reliability of engineering, reliability of engineering product, reliability of engineering workers, all count, all count. First, we have to understand definition of reliability technically, or you can say what code understands, what work understands, work staff understands. We have to make them understand better in a proper way. If I write that reliability is equal to safety added with serviceability, added with durability, added with other applicable knowledge areas, factors, and added with resources, etc. etc. So, reliability is equal to safety plus serviceability plus durability plus other applicable knowledge areas, factors, or you can say resources. These are very important one. We have to take them into our consideration like that. If your work is not safe structurally or even at time of construction, or it may not be safe in future, also it may not be able to give service for which it was intended, it's not able to give intended service what was expected of this item, this product, and it's not going to work for that number of years for which it was decided, judged, and many other applicable knowledge areas like all resources, all risk factors, all time factors, all cost factors, all quality factors, as well as all other resources like machines, equipment, and whatsoever, etc., etc. You can say that is what we can say. Reliability means if all these are okay, all these are acceptable, then we can say our work is reliable, our work is going to satisfy our requirement. I'm not saying it's customer's requirement, customer world itself, because customer may not understand everything about our system. Customer's only desire and objective is to get that product for which that customer pays or that customer wants to enjoy that product. That is reliability, safety plus serviceability plus durability plus other applicable knowledge areas, factors, resources, etc. etc. We must keep these factors in mind while doing design or while doing construction. It is duty of every design engineer to do all this. If one says that we are under pressure, we have to do it, and we assume we have done it, that is not a response from a designer. That response is non-professional. You cannot take excuse of pressure. You cannot take excuse of something else. No, you cannot take any excuse as far as work of that is going to work for 100 years and you want to finish that design in 1 day or 2 day because of pressure. That is not acceptable. You have to, this is construction. This is question of human lives, risks, question of money, question of, time, question of investment, and question of development, question of society, question of economy. After all, whatever you construct, it may be in private or government, doesn't matter. It may be in public or private. But this would be forever there, maybe 100 years, 200 years, 50 years. So this cost, if it's lost, time is lost, we can recover none of them. That point we have to understand. These factors are not my factors. Then we can say another point is analysis. Of course, what is analysis? Should we understand what is analysis? Can we understand analysis? Analysis is something wonderful, you can say. It's wonderful in a fact that analysis, I may say, it is root of everything. No analysis means nothing. Analysis is done by whom? Analysis is done by use of mind. By use of mind. If I can't use my mind, it's a problem. I can say it's a problem. Analysis is analysis. It must be done. No excuse on that. Some problem exists. That problem must be solved, and that is called analysis. If that problem cannot be solved, this means analysis remains absent. There may be many problems on one activity or one subject or one object. Those problems must be studied well, and that study is known as analysis. If people can do analysis, they can find solutions, and if people do not want to do analysis, they cannot find solutions. Yes, in beginning it may look very problematic that you are interested in problems. Yes, I am interested in problems because without solving problems, you cannot do anything. That is main point. And now you have to give 5 minutes because I have to go to terrace and come back. Please excuse me. Don't mind otherwise. I'm just coming back. Sorry, Auntie, I'm back in 5 minutes. Just hold on because it's important. I have to put food for my birds. Maybe surprised. So sorry, gentlemen, I just was there for 5 minutes. So coming back to our own talk of analysis, as I discussed recite. Analysis is is solver, problem solvers. Analysis, I think, is very important in every field of life. Starting from your own, when you want to do something as an individual, or when you want to do something as member of your family and your family as a whole, then you can move up to society or neighborhood and then to your nation. Analysis stands everywhere. Those who can understand it, they can work on it, and they can find problems to their solutions, and those solutions can be helpful in moving further. In our engineering, analysis is very important. We say we say no, we understand all materials, we understand properties of materials, and based on these properties we further do designs. And designs means these are based on theory. We say theory of structure, and also when we use material properties we call this strength of material. How can we evaluate materials function, materials performance in structures? How can we produce structures based on those materials? And whole process of understanding phenomena of material strength, as well as how our formula have been generated, how these will work. Those calculations, those analysis, we can say theory of structure it is, which is a very wide branch of science, engineering science, which is based on mathematics, complete mathematics, not mensuration mathematics, but like you can say algebra, like coordinate geometry or trigonometry or differential calculus, integral calculus, or you can say generally all calculation world, all calculation topics, all calculation subjects are involved in that. And we can say, in fact, theory of structure is nothing but it is same as analysis of structures. When we say analysis of structure, whatever structure we assume, that structure is understood to be a kind of system. We say this is system. System of what? System of combination of or assembly of various members in that structure. You can say a slab, you can say beams with that slab, you can say columns with those beams, and you can say framing of those columns with beams, and it goes down to your foundations, and foundations are sited on certain soil which is also had certain natural built structure, or that structure can be improved by soil improvement method. Whole this system, it is called, I say, complete structural mechanism. We call it, and it has wide spectrum of studies which every structure requires. And this whole study, what force, what action shall go to this slab, and from this slab to beams, and from beams to analysis of columns, how shall it go to column, and then to foundation, and then to soil, and then how it shall dissipate itself. These all stages comprise, or we can say these stages, all these stages are stages of analysis. Each and every analysis, first we have to understand this. Analysis tells us, based on certain assumptions, based on certain practical experience, or based on certain caudal requirements, we give values to our loading system. how this load comes on this slab, what is value of that load, what is value of this material, concrete or whatever material we use, how shall it spread on area, and what load goes to be members supporting this slab like beams, and then what load goes to columns like that. This is in general we call it analysis of loads of forces or analysis of structure. Whatever force ultimately is to be sustained, is to be absorbed, is to be transferred by every member of structure. These names which I given, slab or beam or column, these are members of structure and foundations are members. These members have to share certain part of that load, which may vary in direct application like direct load or gravity load, and sometimes it may not be direct load, it may be moment or that force which tries to bend some members. And there may be many more kinds of forces, you can say calculated calculation based forces. Whole system is called analysis. If this analysis is successful, if we are able to do analysis of all these members which we are going to include in structure of whatever building, if every member is understood well, what force one is going to take, one is going to share with, then we can establish all this through analysis, or we call theory of structure or analysis of structure. Then once we decide that this is going to take this much force or action on this, after that we can, using properties of materials like concrete, like steel, and combination of both, we have various design formulas for these elements. All elements, we use software for that, or we can do our preliminary work by calculations, by first principle, or whatever way we can design that. That analysis is very important, wearing coat, suit of our system. Without this analysis, we cannot find any solution. And this analysis brings a confidence, impacts a confidence in every engineer that I analyze and there's no doubt, I'm sure the structure shall work. That is analysis. It applies in your home when you want to do something in your home in a better way. You keep in views all your requirements and also sources or resources, what sources you have. And if you think that my sources are not adequate enough to modify or to do some things, whatever, you may not go for that, or you have to raise funds from whatever source to do that. Means that's analysis. How shall you lead life? That's analysis. How you want to, means it's everywhere, but that is based on assumptions. Here in engineering systems, engineering construction, this is not assumption, this is actual load, which is agreed upon in courts. Or you can define yourself also your own system of loading. It's up to you. What do you think of? But question lies in analysis is a must. No analysis means no solution. And some people are expert in that. Some can even assume this shall be result because they are well experienced people. And once analysis is done for every member, and this member shall be connected one day, they shall act in uniformity, they shall act in unit reference. And that combination itself is known as synthesis, that we combine those naturally. Of course, they would be one day combined together. We can't stop them. So we can say analysis is an exclusive engineering basis, which is a must. All problems to be understood by this approach. This is very important point. Synthesis is a result of a combination of analysis. You have done 10 analysis, for example, in certain system, and you combine those, you join all those, then you get, maybe after some modification or after review, you would say, yes, it is done. So analysis has given you assembly of solutions, and that is, you can say, your part of product. Part of product. They should function according to their requirement. So it's all based on thinking. Thinking, which is, basic principle of existence. Thinking is very common term. You may call it thinking, or you may call it deliberation in your own self, talking to yourself, talking yourself to yourself is very significant. You know, if you can talk to yourself, you can talk to everybody. If you question yourself, you can answer yourself. It's beautiful, believe me. Not because of engineering I'm talking this. It's a part of life. Sometimes you are not using tongue to talk, but you are thinking. You are talking in yourself internally. It doesn't mean that you can't speak. You are speaking to yourself, to your soul, and you're getting answers. That state of such contemplation, such deliberation is very, very important, is very powerful because your whole energy is utilized by your process of thinking, your process of self deliberation, your process of questioning yourself. That's a part of engineering, and I call it contemplation, which is based on thinking activity. This is unlimited. This is unlimited. Believe me, it's so powerful. Thinking is so powerful that it can change entire scenario. It can change entire scenario. That's important. So do not disregard thinking. Maybe sometimes if I'm thinking, nobody's listening to me. What's the meaning of this thinking? Doesn't matter. If somebody is not listening, people are not listening. It doesn't matter. You are talking, you are solving problem. Ultimately, I I can say what you suggest someone based on thinking and based on reality, based on requirement, people would do that one day because people are egoistic. They want only them be heard, but they forget this is life. Every moment is different. People are not interested in knowledge. They are interested in money. Knowledge is not interested for them. They are interested in money. And once money comes into play, you know what happens. So for me, contemplation, I can say, must be achieved come what may. If you want to be practical, if you want to be conducive, if you want to prove that you believe in engineering and you are an engineer, then you must achieve contemplation, which must be followed by applications. Applications based on thought process, application based on intellectual ideas, application based on, you can say, engineering world is very different than other words. Absence of engineering means absence of society, absence of development. Engineering, when I define, you can say applications must be affected, and that's engineering. Engineering, you can say. I wanted to show you all that through share, but YouTube doesn't support that. Well, I can say application must be affected, and engineering is engineering. Quality non-conformance product is called substandard and therefore rejected. Quality non-conformance product is called substandard and therefore rejected. Quality approach defined. No. Non-conformance means engineer is either careless or ignorant or incompetent, one and therefore redundant personnel. Redundant personnel. We must change to requirements to achieve standard quality standards. We must change to requirements to achieve intended quality standards for universal recognition. Quality requirements checks being a must, missing which we have to blame ourselves for quality failure. Engineering means quality application. Well, engineering engineering means quality application and continuous improvement of quality, just like continuous professional development. It is continuous improvement of quality, and that is CIQ. Uh, I could show this page to you. Unfortunately, I cannot show, but this is available on other videos. I'll try to do again this evening if I find time for showing you this document, because sharing document is much better than explaining everything by face, because you can read documents yourself, and that's very important point. Unfortunately, this time I'm not able to do that because in Delhi, bad weather is you bad weather as well as you can say signals problems. I could not solve this problem through Facebook. I consider Facebook better than YouTube for purpose of screen share, because in YouTube screen share is not provided yet. Issue is very difficult. Issue is very difficult in engineering. For example, I can say now, when I say quality requirement, I have given many talks on this. It's continuous. Many activities are involved. You see, requirement we define. It's only we define, and we define requirement based on what owner of structure, owner of building, or client, or whatever you can say, that party requires. That party too is intermediate. It's, it's difficult for them to understand outside what to do. There is also a point. Some may say this is not required what you are doing. Some may say you're wasting time. Yes, you can say that. I am wasting time. You may say, I don't feel shy, I don't feel shame, because if something is achieved in quality system, I can digest in beginning what is wasted. It's question of health of people, safety of people. That's more important. When we say quality requirement, what's all after all this? Means what quality requirement? Means from where it will come? From where? You may say it comes from specifications, it comes from drawings. Yes, it comes from specifications. But who writes specification? How can it be written? That's point. It's not automatically generated. Somebody has to write. In fact, it's experience, it's thought, it's thinking, it's work of mind, it's real world experience. What we say, we have to do. It should be evidently proven. This work stands. So when we say we have to write our experience, we can write. And if we don't write experience, we know work. Indeed, we know work. But everybody does not know what you know, and you do not know what others know. It's because of lack of understanding, lack of personal habit, and lack of family and childhood. Requirement is very important point. Requirement from A to Z. Requirement means it should be engineering requirement, it should be activity requirement, it should be real requirement, and it is related to follow up of work and follow up of inspection. Each activity is important in its own world. When we say requirement, that requirement must refine all activities individually. It should act as checks, it should act as guide, it should act as improvement on fields. Sometimes we have to write requirements, and how much we know about that, we have to write. But simultaneously, we have to keep in mind that we should not unnecessarily disturb work. It should be reasonable interference, it should be reasonable entry of quality people, but not in a responsible way. We can't be irresponsible. We are responsible because we value time, cost, quality, and those values do not mean if we stop thinking of quality, we stop thinking of quality system that cannot be met. It is unlimited thinking is required. Unlimited thinking. So quality requirement stands for every, you can say, every activity. So I had tried to chart out requirements for, you can say, you can say setting out an excavation. In this requirement means it is checklist, and based on this checklist, ITP would be created. That is inspection and test plans in whatever form you have. You have to insert these requirements for purpose of tick or not tick, approval or not approval. Then we can say there is setting out an excavation requirement for every project. There is survey requirement, and of course you can say there would be, you know, hand excavation requirement. There would be formation. There would be blinding, concrete protection or waterproofing, sub columns works, backfill works, and say guide, you know, for columns work. Then walls, and like that, it goes on and on and on. There's no limit. I had shown you this on paper. A reading may not suffice purpose. If I read that, it won't do any benefit. My only purpose is just to apprise you for what I'm doing. These I would share in Facebook maybe when this screen share works. That's very important point. We have my purpose of this talk is just to interact with you on such issues. It's not necessary I can show every time everything, but I will try to show you as much as possible. I have many sketches about safety, but those shall be kept in view, and you will get benefit from those. If you don't get benefit, purpose is that we have to keep ourselves within limits of quality. Quality has no limit, but we have limit. That's main point. Quality has no limit. We have limit. I was sitting tired. I want to stretch my legs. You can say, you can say like that. We have to understand engineering. We have to understand that once work is done, it is done. Particularly construction engineering, civil construction engineering is of that level. Once it is done, I think it's done forever. You have spent money, that money has gone. You cannot rework even if there is mistake. And if you rework, means it's issue of waste of time, waste of cost, waste of quality. That point we have to understand. And remember, your production is very important, very significant. Your production is much above than any expensive car. Whatever expensive car you have, that car would not work for 100 years. But your project, as old it is as better it is to an extent. It's well, it's well done for seismic action. It's one for this action. I never say, I never claim anything. I only claim that if you work with quality, it is much better. If you work with quality, it is much better, and there is no alternative to that. In my career, I used to write methods for every activity. Maybe my writing was not that excellent, but it was useful. I myself, if I do activity which I wrote, I have to read that for reference. And there is sometimes what happens. I think that time differently when reading. Oh, I should have written this way. I should have written this way. Because it's mind. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop anywhere. Life of engineer is full of risks, but life of engineer is also full of opportunities, particularly civil engineers, design civil engineer. They face anything, anytime in life, but if failure is there, steps we will discuss. We will discuss the steps. I will show you sketches, all sketches, in due time when I can show you sketches. Here it's not possible, and I don't have hard copies to show you. So that's my restriction in this. Procedures, design procedures, construction procedures, quality procedures we have to define. It's not only the checklist we have to define which stages are also required for inspections of relevant items. That stage is known as scope. At which stage we have to inspect, what we have to inspect, and all is to. Once I immerse myself in that type of thought, I have to say, yes, it is right. Quality can't be played with. Construction can't be played with. Truth is truth, fact is fact. Even if I want to hide something, I can't hide. Though I tried my life also at young age because you know there's no problem in young age. But excitement. Excitement is very important. Engineering is not based on excitement. Construction engineering is based on planned movement. So my point is in this case, We have to raise ourselves. Engineers have to raise questions to themselves. Why are they silent? I have seen engineers talking designs, talking codes, talking methods, talking requirements, but I've not seen them. I've not heard their writing. I've not heard them about requirement of quality. It's their job. They can't escape it. They are all misled. Misled in the sense quality must be known to people. And known to people means people is inefficient. People are inefficient, they say. Yes, people are inefficient. They just want to say yes or no. Yes or no. So I should say what I can say without documents. I can't say I wanted to show you sketch. I can't show you sketch. I would simply say that maybe this is a specific talk on YouTube, and maybe people don't find this, but I have linked it to Facebook and to Twitter and to LinkedIn. I sorry if not on LinkedIn I could do this, but I will do it now after closing this video. No, no worry about that. अब मैं थोड़ा हिंदी में बोलूँ, हालांकि ये सही नहीं है लेकिन बोलना भी आता नहीं है इतना। क्या कहते हैं क्वालिटी को? क्वालिटी कहेंगे ना, गुणवत्ता कहेंगे, गुणवत्ता। गुणवत्ता क्या है? गुणवत्ता के बिना हम हैं ही नहीं, मालूम होना चाहिए। गुण, मेरिट्स होना जरूरी है, और क्वालिटी वही गुण है जो अपने आप में नहीं बनता बल्कि समझा जाता है और बनाया जाता है। अगर हमारे काम में गुण नहीं, हमारे काम में ऐसी क्षमता नहीं जिससे वो काम कुछ कर सके आगे, I don't know what to speak and how to speak. Well, I'll continue in English. It's not easy. Concrete is concrete, remember. Concrete is concrete. Meaning is concrete. Word is concrete. Concrete means solid. Concrete means strong. Concrete means everything should be concrete. The work should be concrete. The trying behavior should be concrete. Everything should be concrete. That's what we have to move with. As I said, quality can't be avoided. You can't avoid that. No way. Quality is quality. You have to do it. I don't want to talk about COVID in stock. This will confuse someone. COVID is very different. I have been behind COVID for more than, you can say, 5, 6 months, just to know how it's working, how people are interested. Because there is no basic, there's no analysis till now. And that's why I'm stressing. Without analysis, we cannot even track what we did in the past. Various community as a whole. Concrete means quality, and quality means concrete. Do you agree? I say concrete is quality because concrete is solid. Concrete is solid, and quality means for permanent, for good, and concrete is for good. Concrete means 50 to 100 years minimum, and quality means what? That's also same. But if I make my house like people make, rubbish, scrap, they don't know anything. And builder, he knows everything. Builder knows everything. Sometimes I enjoy looking at these structures. Means we are very happy to waste our money. We are not happy to waste money in buying food item, vegetable item, small items. We talk a lot these. Oh, I don't need this. I select from this pool of vegetable. This is good. This is not good. We go and do that. Or if we buy house, we don't want to know anything. Oh, I got house. I have my shelter. I don't care about quality of that house. I don't care. So I don't care for my life because I don't care for concrete. Or concrete, someone is only, oh, yes, a mix and do it. You won't see how do you do it. For them, it's a mix. Concrete is a mix for some, just a physical materials of some, or just some, you can say, powerful, energized material in this. I will not part of someone. Will not. So concrete is concrete. We cannot deny this fact. And physical meaning of concrete is very solid. And this is a point where is it? I can say, I may not say what I think. That's also true. I may think, I may not think. That's different. Why not? It is. I may have to open my gate. Just hold on, please. I'm sorry, I'm disturbed every time and keep you waiting. Uh, just a minute, please. I'd like to go 2 3 minutes. Like, sorry for keeping you wait. I'll keep it 5 to 10 minutes more talk to you. So, concrete is concrete. It can't be spared. You have to devote your quality system on concrete. You have to care about your concrete. And if you don't care, you are going to lose something. You are going to lose your money, your efforts, your everything. अगर आप चाहते हैं आप कंक्रीट को सही तरह से पाएँ, मैं कैसे बोलूँ? कंक्रीट को पैसा लगता है, टाइम लगता है, मटेरियल लगता है और हम खुश हो जाते हैं हमने डाल दी कंक्रीट, लेंटर डाल दिया, क्या बोलते हैं लेंटर, कॉलम खड़े कर दिया और देखता हूँ जैसे बनते हैं मकान, कुछ पता नहीं बना दो। आपकी ज़िंदगी का पूरा पैसा लगा दो और आप खुश हो जाएँ कि देखो हमने बना दिया, एक मेसन के कहने पे, एक कारपेंटर के कहने पे, एक उस आदमी के कहने पे जिसे कुछ पता नहीं है कंस्ट्रक्शन के बारे में, डिज़ाइन के बारे में, और वो आपका पैसा लगवा देता है। एक आर्किटेक्ट के कहने पे जिसे कुछ पता नहीं है स्ट्रक्चर का, आप पैसा लगा देते हैं। मैं किसी की बुराई नहीं कर रहा, ना मैं करना चाहता, लेकिन सच्चाई से भी भागना नहीं चाहिए। पैसा आपका है, मकान आपका है, ज़िंदगी आपकी है, बर्बाद कर रहे हैं तो कीजिए, मुझे क्या, मुझे कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता, लेकिन सेफ नहीं है आप, क्योंकि आपका मकान क्वालिटी का नहीं बना। एक मकान नहीं, मैंने कितने देखे हैं, और ये नहीं, बड़े मकान भी कोई बहुत अच्छे नहीं बन रहे, कुछ 2-4% छोड़ दो जहाँ कोई है देखने वाला, नहीं तो डब्बा गोल है। कंस्ट्रक्शन एक कोविड है, जानते हैं? जिस तरह कोविड के बारे में हम नहीं जानते, पब्लिक के लिए कंस्ट्रक्शन एक कोविड है, बस करते जाओ, खुश होते जाओ। ऐसे ऐसे देखी कंस्ट्रक्शन की, थप्पड़ मारो खींच के उसके से बनाइए, वो कोई हिसाब किताब नहीं है, बना दो कुछ भी। बनाने से मतलब पैसा दो, जाओ ठेकेदार की या बिल्डर की एक ही पॉलिसी, मुझे क्या होगा इसका होगा, नुकसान इसका होगा, right? I don't care for that. That contractor thinks, that builder think, I don't care for that. If it's loss, it's loss. I have to sell it, get my money, and go and take my profit. I have seen many people also say, "Oh, I don't care. I just want to make this house. I'm not going to stay in that. I'm not going to stay in that. I'll just rent it. I'll just sell it and dispose in that profit." Profit is objective. Profit, surprising, on future distress of people, on risk of lives of those people who use a property. Your objective is only to get money, only to get profit. You're not interested in quality of concrete. Concrete is an exclusive item for such houses. I don't care for brickwork. I don't care for your wall. I don't care for how services are there. If your structure is not safe, if structure is not safe, I think you waste your money. That's my point of view. You may be happy by saying I have put so many columns, but you don't know what is column. You don't know. You don't know what's meaning of steel in that. हमने इतना सरिया लगा दिया, इतना सरिया लगा दिया, इतना मोटा मोटा लगा दिया। यही होती है ना बेवकूफ़ी, इडियोटिक थिंकिंग। किसी की बात में आके कुछ भी कर दो। Where is quality then? Where is design then? Without design and without quality, it's a scrap. Your money has gone into fire, into dust. To be clear, your money does not give you return, does not give you safety. Read that return is safety. Your house which you construct is at risk. We do not know how geometry of that house works. how structure of that house works. That is point I am stressing in. These engineers, if they design your home, they work a lot in designs, which you may not know. They consider all forces. Direct force means weight of structure, whatever weight is on that. Live load means who are standing on them, what goods are lying on floor. Each and every weight is considered in designs. How many people maximum may walk on stair? How many people may sit in balcony? What what is unit weight of your use on your floor? Every point is considered. What is temperature of that area? How shall it affect? What percentage of sunlight will enter your home? All these factors work. During fire breakout, how much time it will take for fire brigades to come or rescue. These points are considered, but you are not aware of that. All these points, what is load of wind or force of wind on your structure? What is force of earthquake on your structure? What is force of something else which we consider? People do not know that. But these are considered, these are mandatory. If we don't consider them, we do not do our job. And then you cannot realize this fact because everything is not explained. Designer's job is to give design according to codes, according to national laws, national codes, and they design. That design requires that it should be constructed accordingly. If you cannot construct accordingly, there's no meaning of that design. That point is also to be understood. Maybe you hire some structural engineer for design, and that engineer does it. But you don't care for work, how this work shall be done, and you call some ABCD contractor and gives it to it, and you trust that that would do it. Is the activity that that contractor or builder shall make you in such a way fool that I am doing everything right, no need of any supervisor here. I have 50 years experience, 30 years experience, and I can do everything. You go and see my buildings are standing safe, and you are convinced. See what a gentleman, what degree of politeness he has. Politeness. How good he talks. A person who is going to cheat you shall talk politely and good. That is basic principle of life. And a person who does not have any tendency to cheat you would say clearly, even in rough tone, because it's your money, it's not my money. I'm just going to serve you to spend this money on your building. That point people should understand. And once your money is gone into good or bad concrete, it is gone. Concrete cannot return you that. That point is very important. It's just like same. People have died with COVID. Due to COVID, they can't come back. And politicians have got no answers to that. Gone or gone. Why gone or gone? In first question, why they could not be protected? That's what I say. Quality failed. Health system failed. Quality failed. Government failed. And here is what concrete fails. If you do bad concrete and you're happy with that, or see I have roof on my head, then you are not a genuine person. You don't realize that your hard earned money, if it is really hard, I don't worry for those who have black money, those who don't care for money, but those who earn their money through hard work throughout their life, and if that money goes to dust concrete, I can say, I call that concrete, which is not quality one, a dust concrete, rubbish concrete. It's not going to work according to requirement. And when I say concrete means it is RCC. It's not simple plain concrete. It is RCC, which is reinforcing cement concrete or reinforced cement concrete, where reinforcing means steel bars. Steel bars. So just putting something in steel, something in concrete without due work of designs, I cannot say that that work is professional. But people do not understand this. People do not, even if you tell them, they won't understand. They only say, "Oh, say this person wants some money or fees, or this person wants to get some money through work, and we can do without this person. Why to think of this person? No, don't think for me. Don't think for someone else who's going to do work for you. You think for yourself. You think for your future. You think for your family. Because if something happens, it shall happen to them. It shall happen to them. Serious issue. Very, very serious issue. You want to see them leave this building, then what's function of building? A building is going to collapse or sink. How can you stop that? How can you stop that? I, I understand. It's very important point. Quality should be like you think your body should be. Your fitness should be. You are much worried about fitness of everything. My car should be shining very well, very clean. An interior of car must be beautiful, right? Same thing you apply for a house. My house should look beautiful, attractive. People come, so oh, what a color, what combination. Yes, you should do. But if whatever structure is on, what shall happen to your house? Sometime it will answer you. Yield, surrender. I can't work for you. You want that space? That's the point. I'm not just playing with statement of quality. I am playing with that point. Life is very much miserable. Very much very well. That's why it's distressed. You are distressed. You do not realize facts. That's my concern. Quality. That's why I stress for requirements. I stress for everything that has to be done. What is not done? And I will tell engineers also, not only to people, engineers also, that don't think only degree would work. Practical learning is very significant. And don't think you're a big boss. I have this degree, ME, I have PhD. No, that is degree of thinking. Think. That is degree of learning. You have learned. Learn more. Application in field must be perfect. And it can be perfect only when you do experience or you do practical work. It can never be perfect by your certificate. As I show to you always, those certificates are not enough for showing that work is done because I have this certificate, the work is done. No, that is original certificate, genuine original certificate which just tell that you have passed this examination and nothing else. I understand this problem people have boasting about certification. Certification is a must. I'm not saying don't have certificate. Certificate would tell only that you have studied this. Certificate would tell that you have worked on this project. Certificate would tell that you have done this job. If you have certificate and if you know caliber, you think it's meaning? You know, it is generally I've seen in overseas and particularly in Arab world. Yeah, certificate is required for visa purpose, for some other purpose. But in work in field, they simply say you are engineer. Do it. You won't say I am certified, you should accept me. Yes, you are certified, that's why you are here. But you reestablish that you know. Okay, I will be thinking about something. We have to think, I was sorry, I was just thinking of something else, and that's what we can say now. Let's consider this topic closed, and I'll take up this issues of issues of this quality later, because brief I given. There's so many talks on this going to conduct. I'm going to conduct many talks. Already I've conducted many. I'll see if in the afternoon I can do it on Facebook. If I could do that, because a screening document, screen share is very important. And meanwhile, if you can contact me on Facebook, you can see my you can see my videos, P Suraj Facebook, and all hundreds of videos are available there. Hundreds, I'm not saying one, more than 800 videos of engineering procedures, you can say politics, COVID, many such. Every day I try to contribute something for society. Otherwise, when I do so, I keep myself serious enough, and that's a very important point. Sometimes I'm lost also during video itself while thinking, because I never prepare anything before. I do only at that time. I understand you can take advantage of this much better if you can take advantage of, and if you cannot take, that's no hard and fast. Problem to me, I only can say that you will enjoy. It is serious issue, because engineering is not easy issue. Engineering is very serious, very serious. There's no entertainment subject in this. All subjects are based on analysis, based on formula, based on theory, based on procedures, and same works in field also. What quantity of material we have to use in construction, that is also important, because expenses you have to make on construction all relate to quantity of that material. If quantity of material is optimum without wastage, it's okay. And it's not quantity alone, quality of that product as well, which are important. Qualities. You have to spend money. There may be 5 to 6% difference, 2% difference. And seller would say, see, you're saving 2% money here. You try this. You see, quality is based on properties of material, testing of material. You are going to buy a lot of material. When you use bricks, you buy lakhs of bricks. When you use concrete you will find hundreds of cubic meter concrete in building. I did my home. I spent about 270 cubic meter of concrete, big home. Same way, when you construct, you buy lakhs of bricks. How many trucks of aggregate rolling you buy? How many trucks of sand you buy? And you can say how many hundreds cement bags you buy. So your money goes into mass purchase. You cannot just take for ride and spend money. After all, it should go to product in a constructive manner, in a fruitful manner. That is main point of requirement. Otherwise, why should I say that? What's fun? Nothing. So I should say that it's important. We should respect engineering world for development. Development can be done rubbish, and development can be done standard one. Both can be done. I've seen in many countries quality of civil construction is very bad. I don't name, our is one, right? Others I can't say. I've seen many countries. There's variation in quality. I started my career from Iraq and I was very much impressed with quality there. And that time, I'm talking of 81, 1981, 1981, 40 years back. There was no system of quality, but there was quality. Controls were there. I didn't find controls in other countries to that extent. So I still remember that time. Though I was very young, I didn't know everything. Still, I don't know everything. Only some, for purpose of, you can say, interaction with people. But that's not enough. We have to be competent enough for all this, and that is basic requirement. I am always positive and negative both. You will ask me question why I am negative and positive both. Why not positive only? Because I know negative is very important for everybody. If we do not consider negative, we can't be positive. And we can't be positive for sake of positive, that you just positive but you don't know anything. How will do it? Be positive. Just by statement we'll do it. You won't do it. Statement is positive, but there is no feedback, there is no plan, there is no ground. How can you be positive? How can you expose yourself without any ground, without any such thing? You can be positive only if you are well prepared. And that state of well preparation, if you say I'm well prepared, this means you are already in solution of negative consideration. Your solutions how to do that job, how to solve that problem. It's okay. I don't mind. If you are positive supported by negative, so positive supported by negative is important. If somebody says, I'm positive, you're not positive, you're negative. No, there is no negative. If you consider negative, you're not negative. Don't forget, calculation requires positive and negative. Calculation requires multiplication and division, plus minus, multiplication and division, under root, square root, all it requires. So without negative, how can you calculate? You must understand that. Do not just comprehend something by just a statement, oh, you are negative. Yes, I am negative because you are not negative. If you are negative, I will be positive. Because I will take power from your negative consideration. And this is negative that generates atomic bomb. What does it make? Electrons. It's negative. It's negative. Your steel is rusted. How does it happen? Do you know that? Rusting of steel. जंग लगता है शरीर पे, दिमाग पे जंग लगता है. We say that. How? Because of we miss negative. Negative means risk. Negative means how to accumulate your knowledge about risk. And if you are able to analyze risk, you can prevent it. Better to prevent than to cure. You got it? If you want to protect something being from being spoiled, means you understand risk and then you can find solution to that. And if you don't understand risk, you say, okay, it has happened, what can I do? I have to correct it. That is called loss. It's already happened. It's loss. That's why I say loss is not important. If consideration of loss is not important, if you have considered negative effect, is negative means knowing risk. If no, if we had known risk about damage, or you can say this COVID would reach to this state as we have been facing today, and we would have acted in a manner. We would act as a country, but we did not act. So we have lost lives, millions lives. That's what I'm saying. Risk and negative are same. Those who only criticize negative consideration, they are brainless people, I can say. They are not well educated. They don't understand mathematics. And that's why they talk like this. Oh, your nature is always negative. Yes, I am negative because you don't understand meaning of negative. You do not understand that negative, if it is added to negative, result is negative, and negative, if it's multiplied with negative, result is always positive. If you multiply two negatives, result is positive. And then if you multiply that positive again with negative, result is negative. So positive and positive, if multiply, you can get positive. Negative and negative, if you multiply, you get positive. So which one is better? If in negative consideration you're getting positive answer, what's wrong with you? Positive is positive, you know that. If you multiply negative with negative, answer is positive. So my achievement is better or your achievement is better. You know positive what achievement you're getting there. But here I know risk. I am trying to solve that risk and I reach a solution. So when I find a solution to risk, prevailing risk, this means risk does not exist. It is now work, it is now opportunity. So risk mitigation can be done only by understanding negative impact. And once we understand negative impact, it becomes positive opportunity. You have to analyze that way, consider that way. And this is our job in engineering. We always think that way. How shall it impact on us? If I apply this load, can this beam take this load? Did I apply this much load? Can this slab take this load? This is what we consider. How much load I will take? For example, I take 250 kilogram per square meter of floor. Is this enough? Or we want more? Depends what load you are keeping on that and what is thickness of that slab or lintel, what is size of that beam, how much load it's going to give to, what's weight of this slab, what's weight of this column, what's weight of this beam. All these points we consider. What's weight of plaster, what's weight of floor tile, means we consider all that. It's not football or cricket. It is construction, it is design. Each and every load is taken. What wind shall do with this load? There is wind load, sun, how it affects my building. We consider all this. Only then we can reach some conclusion. So do not criticize negative because mind has to work taking into consideration negative. Otherwise, we are fools, we are ill-educated people, I would say, in that case. Now I think I should not hang on much on this topic and close it because it's already time to end hours, quarter hours. So I thank you very much. After a long time on YouTube, because of problem on Facebook, I try to pass some time to share some information with you on YouTube. And I think it is done excellently. Maybe I was a little lazy due to some 2 or 3 times I had to come out or something. I apologize for that. I wasted your time. Thank you very much. If Facebook doesn't work well, I'll be back on this once again. Thank you very much. And I end this stream. Bye bye. Okay, thanks.